So I started out on a trainee scheme with ITV back in the days of, I think it was Northwest Vision, when they had their own sort of screen agency in Manchester, and I was working with Sita Williams, who did sort of, Cold Feet, Prime Suspect. So it was a great ITV drama department. But I was there as a production secretary, so it was after that finished, I always kind of knew I wanted to do something with scripts. And then sort of, heard about the script editor role, so I sort of branched out and did the soaps. I worked on Casualty, Emmerdale, EastEnders, and then that's when I started to branch out to doing drama script editing, freelance-wise, working for Kudos, Hat-Trick, various other companies before I went to Red and so forth, and that's kind of how I went through my journey. Yeah, it was always kind of working with writers. I kind of always felt like I never saw, I worked with some brilliant writers, but I never saw any stories that sort of reflected who I was or my background. And I'd always wanted to write and sort of, did things at home, wrote short films, never did anything properly. So it was only actually when I had my first child, I was on maternity leave and I decided to do a trial script for Emmerdale. And so I was lucky enough to then get onto the team. So I do think working in development really helped me to kind of learn all those skills from different writers and be able to be a successful writer. Yeah, so in my development days, working with various writers of different levels, just seeing how they worked in their own rooms, writers' rooms, seeing how they developed, working with different producers, and just sort of reading so many scripts, the good scripts and the bad scripts, which is so helpful for you to learn kind of why certain things aren't working and being able to kind of have that kind of process of deconstructing a script or story. I think all those things, and also the kind of personal skills of being able to work with lots of different types of people and different types of temperament, that kind of helps you then be able to work with those different producers in different writers' rooms as a working writer. So I was lucky actually, because my first spec script, when I was thinking, what the hell can I write? And I decided to write a comedy drama based in Manchester about some girls who were like me and my friends. And I was lucky enough that of the companies that I did sell to, that I did pitch to, all of them wanted to option it. So I did have it optioned. I was quite quickly off my first spec script and got an agent as well. I had to sort of quickly get an agent because suddenly I had interest. So I was really lucky. Nothing happened with it in the end. But yes, it was a great kind of way for me to get those meetings and out there. Yeah, it was still kind of the rabbit in the headlights thing, because if you sort of come out with a script that suddenly everyone seems to be interested to want to talk to you, it was a bit sort of like overwhelming at first. But I think once I started to kind of work with the producers and different people, the good thing about my development experience, it kind of gave me a tougher skin, so as not to kind of be too precious about kind of killing your darlings, as everyone always talks about. So being able to be flexible and kind of, understanding how production works as well is a massive thing, because some writers might be great writers, but they don't understand the kind of process. So having that prior knowledge helped me in terms of how I can assess what kind of changes I make to the script or story. Yes, I think my first writer's room, I think that was Supacell for Netflix, the first series a long time ago. And then from then I did various other rooms. So I've worked with HBO, Channel 4 Sky, ITV, when I was working on Emmerdale in that kind of writer room. And yeah, so it was just getting my first, once you've sort of had your first one, people tend to be kind of feel a bit more kind of comfortable with having you in a room, but also it's about your kind of personality and when you're meeting with them, and kind of also as well as your sample script, of course, but it is kind of knowing, and I think that's what's good about working development. People know that you know how to work with other writers, so that makes you kind of better for working on someone else's show. So top 3 do's, I would say, firstly, think about why you've been hired, what's unique about you. So when a writer is putting together a writer's room, they'll generally they might have someone who's very good at character, or someone who is very good at action, depending on what it is, or they might have an affinity or a connection to what that subject matter is about. So try and think about why you've been hired for the room, and kind of trying to kind of then pitching ideas kind of based on your background or what's unique about you, rather than trying to emulate someone else's in the room or thinking you have to be like someone else. So sort of staying true to yourself. I would also say being able to read a room is really important. So, you know, if you're kind of pitching an idea that everyone seems to be moved on from, but you keep bringing it up and you can see that's annoying people, let it go. And the third thing I think is trying to be positive and not an energy vampire. You know, those rooms can be long, you're in there all day, trying to kind of, someone who's very negative and kind of quite sullen, can kind of really bring down the room. So trying to kind of bring that lightness, you know, don't take things too personally. Another don't, I suppose, would be ego, trying to leave your ego at the door. Because if you come in kind of feeling like you've got to peacock, which some people might do, and I also think that's normally coming from a place of insecurity, try and kind of see everybody's on the same level playing field. You do have to be confident. No idea is a bad idea. You know, just kind of trying to kind of read the room and interact with people in a positive way. Yeah, I've always been interested in genre. I kind of, you know, I sort of straddle across comedy, drama, and genre. But I always have very similar interests and themes and characters in all my shows, which unifies. So yeah, I've just always grown up watching all those different superhero shows and kind of supernatural. But the sort of, I'm a very character-driven writer, so I like kind of strong characters and feel like I have kind of an emotional connection to those characters, as well as it just being a really exciting world. Yeah. Favourite genre? I'd probably say the supernatural, grounded supernatural. Anything that feels like it could almost be real. Even though I say that I'm developing a film at the moment, which goes into a very kind of heightened world, but I still always think of it as like a grounded family drama. I would say probably The Leftovers might be my first one. I absolutely love that series and I reference it in all my work. Memento might be my second one as a film. I just think it's a phenomenal film and kind of a brave way of attacking story. And the third one, maybe Succession. Yeah, I'd probably say maybe Succession, just because I just think it's a great kind of character-driven show and I could watch it over and over again. Oh, actually, no, I'm going to change Succession to Sopranos. I completely forgot about that. Yes, that is one of my favourite series of all time. I think it's the clever kind of characters in terms of taking a very well-worn genre like the gangster show or film and just kind of bringing something different. So having, you know, Tony Soprano going through his own mental health issues and all these different kind of interpersonal issues and family drama really at the heart of it as well. I just think that's a phenomenal way. It almost wasn't about the gangster side of things, it was about those characters. So yeah, I think it's brilliant.